Alright, while I'm working on making sure everything works basically in the new DragonOS version I'm working on, I figured this would be a perfect opportunity to show how to add SDRPlay to SDRTrunk while at the same time showing how to use the newer SDRTrunk that's included in DragonOS. So if you go under Other, I've now got it up to, or what I'm working on right now is version 5 Alpha 6. So that's included in there. But for right now, to add SDRPlay support, we're going to have to build something separately. And I'll just document it here. I've got the GitHub page pulled up to an individual that's putting a lot of work into getting SDRPlay equipment to work with the native SDRPlay API. So really appreciate that. I've got his page pulled up here. First thing we're going to have to do, though, is we need to install something. We're going to want to install the OpenJDK 13, I think at least, dash JDK. Alright, so everything's downloaded. We needed that to build and then run this alternate version of SDRTrunk that's going to allow SDRPlay support. So let's pull this down. Normally I stick everything in the user source, but to keep this simple, we'll just put it right in our home directory. Alright, we have that pulled down. Let's change into the SDRTrunk. We'll do git branch -r to see what's available, and we're on the original. Yeah, we're on master, so we want to change to the SDRPlay support. That's going to change us to SDRPlay support. And let's see. So now we should be able to build this. It'll again download what's needed. It should also pull down a, let's see, a wrapper, an SDRPlay Java wrapper that's going to be needed. So let's see, we'll see if it finishes and does it all on its own here. Alright, so it should be built now. You want to go in the build distributions, and you'll see that you've got a tar and a zip file there. You can just unzip. Yeah, and note that it is an older alpha version that it is building. So running both of these at the same time in Alpha 3 and then with the Alpha 6, you could run into problems with playlists, and it mentions that on the SDRTrunk site. So this is just kind of showing it for now until hopefully this makes it into the main SDRTrunk program moving forward. But go ahead and unzip what you just created, change into the SDRTrunk Alpha 3 bin, and then we'll want to run the SDRTrunk. And right now I have an RSP1 alpha plugged in. There's still some work being done to get it to work on the Duo, but let's check this out. So it's going to look a little funny when you first load it up. I'm going to minimize this in the background. We'll want to click on tuners. You can see now it's recognizing the SDRPlay equipment. I go ahead and click on the SDRPlay. I'll set the sample rate, say to 6, and then change the bandwidth to 6 as well. The gain reduction, you can adjust that as needed. I'm going to open this up a little bit more. Let's say I go to 8. Take it all the way out to the max here. I'll click Playlist Editor. Now, even with the default that's installed in DragonOS, the process of creating the channels in the playlist is a little different in the past, but still relatively simple. We just click channels, and since I'm going to be looking at a P25 phase 1, I'll go ahead and select that from the drop down on the right. Give it at least a name. I'll add in my frequencies that I had got from radio reference beforehand. I'll just go with the 857.3125. Make sure my preferred tuners, SDRPlay. I'll click add. I won't change anything with the modulation. I'm not looking to log or record anything, but that is available. And when you click play, you know, you're sorry, I could have saved it and then click play. It's going to ask you to set up the jmbe library. You can do that offline if you choose, using the user source, the older jmbe version that I put in here. You do a sudo radlo build, and you could build it offline, and you would find that in this location, that's where you'd specify in the settings. Builder that's available here. I'll click create library. You got to have internet for this. And we'll wait for it to finish. Alright, it's finished. Go ahead and hit OK. That should be set. I'll go ahead and click play.
For the speed limit is 5 miles per hour in the transit center.
Okay, so I'm not going to broadcast everything here because it's local, but you can see that right off the bat it's working pretty well. And that's with a RSP1 alpha. There's still some work that's you know, in progress, but yeah, it works really well. I have a hack RF here as well. You should be able to plug that in, follow the same steps. Okay, so you can see it's working. You can see the control channel up above, and then where it's tuning to, I've got the full, what is it, I think 8 megahertz wide set on the SDRPlay equipment. The RTL SDR works really well. Same deal. You could have multiple SDRs plugged in at the same time. Now, how you set it up, whether it's phase 1, phase 2, narrowband FM, that I guess really just depends on what's in your area. I just know that for me, P25 phase 1 is listed in the area where I'm at, and you know, there's no encryption on it, so it works well. Important thing is having that jmbe built and selected. And let me think what else. Well, I've got this open. I should be able to change the volume on channels. You can click configure. You want to make sure you can do a test on your audio output just to make sure that there is audio coming out. If you don't hear anything, you might want to check there, make sure everything is set up. Should hear a little tone. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That kind of is a rundown of SDRTrunk and how you can use your SDRPlay equipment if you have it. And then, of course, without even building all this, it's already included in DragonOS, other SDRTrunk, and that'll get you at least RTL SDR and HackRF support. And then just follow everything else I've shown here as far as setting up your channels and your playlist. You can get way more sophisticated and record and all kind of new features under the playlist editor. So radio reference account, you can do all kind of stuff by signing in and make it even easier on you. Stream it out. Yeah, so all right, hope that helps.